Hello, Swivelheads. It's Greg Allison coming to you live with Nuke War News. Guys, there's so much going on in the world right now that is insane. And it's just off the chart. Just like the whole world is aching and breaking for a world war, for nuke war. Guys, it's nuts. So I'm going to show you something. This is crazy. What I'm going to show you a picture is something that we're seeing in communities across the United States, all over. If I can get this stupid phone, bring it up. Oh my God. Can't seem to get it, take my passcode here. Let me show you this picture, guys. Right here. Oops. There you go. Hand up here. I touch it on the edge and it goes away. Sorry, guys, for that. It's aggravating. Here we are. Let's try this again. You see that? That trailer. Mass casualty support. This is for a particular county. These are all over the United States. Mass casualty support. I suppose FEMA should have things like that for things that go bad, but suddenly what's going on? You know, we got a new emergency management activation type message coming out here in just a few days. There's a lot of stuff cooking, a lot of stuff that's been in the prepping. But see, here's what I'm told. Here's what worries me. Word is out. Oh no, you know what? Maybe I should start with this. You know, I'll show you in a little bit. The Medvedev, the deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council, former president of Russia, the only other person that served as president of Russia within the Putin era. And by the way, he's deputy chairman. Putin is the chairman of the Russian Security Council. So Medvedev makes a lot of statements and people, you know, say like crying wolf. His latest statement plays into the hands of the Biden administration from reports I've got. That's what worries me about this one. On the anniversary of 9/11, which was just, 3 days ago now, 2 days ago, depending on how you're counting your calendar, where you're at, he stated that there would be another 9/11 on the United States, another one. And he said it would be either nuclear or biological. Now, the reports I'm getting from certain inside sources claim, I verified this, guys, but the claim is that Russia will stage, the U.S. will stage an event and refer to it as instigated by Russia as a biological attack. Yeah, banner, not so true. I'm using code language, if you know what I mean. Event. That will be a so-called biological attack on the United States, and Russia will get the blame. And the whole intent of this is to put American boots on the ground within 30 days. 30 days, it seems like a stretch to me, but we do have trainers there. Why would something like this happen? Well, just look at our current administration. Already under impeachment hearings, well, not the hearings, but the proceeds are being set up for an impeachment against the current administration. The polls are looking in the dumps. And what does it take? What administration has ever been replaced while America is in the midst of a war? Eggs. And whether the current president, as part of this administration, carries forward or not, may not be so material. It may be more of a state so deep type of thing, if you know what I'm talking about. They want to keep the current things, the current set of things, the current paradigm, the current regime within the DC area and power. So the state that's so deep can remain in your pocket, remain in your control. Try to be careful how I say these things. There's so much code. Being on Facebook, being on YouTube now is like walking on thin ice, wearing cleats in an earthquake. You got to be so uber careful what you say. I'm still trying to get the message out to you guys. I get people on there, hey, how come you didn't say this? I'm mad at you because you didn't say this. Because you didn't say this, you're this. Read between the lines and stuff I say on there, guys. Read between the lines. I mean, I could say everything right now, and my channel will cease to existing. Never hear from me again, where I can keep bringing you stuff. So bear with me. And I hope to be bringing you more stuff in the near future. I'm kind of in a situation right now where it's kind of hard to do videos because the time scales are different. I'm in someone else's home, and it makes it difficult. I'm staying with some friends here in Northeast Arizona, near my property, and we've been working on that. I can talk about that toward the end a little bit, maybe show some other pictures. But let's get through a bunch of articles here because this is what my people want to hear that watch these videos in the early morning. So I'm going to do them justice. But I just want to bring this up. This is a context I just want to bring up. I don't know if Medvedev keeps saying the stuff. He's always, that little boy cried wolf. Problem is, we're pushing so many boundaries. So many things are happening right now. The attacks that have just occurred on Russian military base in Crimea, attacking warships and submarines with UK missiles and French missiles, cruise missiles, is off the charts. Russia is extremely upset. We may be pushing the red lines. There's other things happening. The attacking missiles are going in. Apparently, F-16s are be in Ukraine soon, apparently. But the war itself is, Ukraine's not really doing as good as they should. I mean, supposedly they've crossed the first line of Russian defenses. We heard that said for months on end. Well, and indeed they did, finally. But that's the first of about 3 lines, and Russia is moving troops into the south battlefield to reinforce those lines. And Ukraine's going to have a hard time making it through. Ukraine's progress has been slow. Winter is on the verge. So time is not in the favor of Ukraine. You hear all the newsletters, all the news headlines and things. It sounds like Ukraine is just kicking them. Article after article comes out just saying how Ukraine is winning, how they're kicking them. Really? You think so? They don't look like it, because their progress is mighty, mighty slow. And Russia is starting to really ramp up. Russia's just had their meeting with Kim Jong-un, and apparently they're going to get a whole lot of 155 millimeter artillery shells, probably millions. And they're about to put another maybe 400,000 troops in the field in the not too distant future. They're trying to recruit. Time is on Russia's side, unless the United States does something crazy like enter into the war. And then what happens? World War III, all bets are off. Maybe our side thinks that they can have a limited World War III. Do you think so? Can you bet on it? A lot of people, oh yeah, we could do that. Russians isn't going to nuke anybody. We could just run straight on, run into Moscow. Nothing's going to happen. I read to you this channel previously, straight from the Kremlin's website, the criteria for them to launch their nuclear weapons. And it has to do with an existential threat to the powers in control of Russia. With their nuclear systems, if you attack their nuclear systems, if you attack their strategic weapons, if you make their government a threat, that's why they have nukes. So don't count on the idea. They're not going to use all this new fancy stuff they just developed, like the Sarmat 2, the upcoming Poseidon nuclear torpedo. Let's hope that never gets used. That would be devastating. I mean, you could have a tsunami completely flood over the United Kingdom, or destroy the U.S. East Coast, West Coast, and Southern Coast off for thousands of years with all the radiation, well, hundreds of years. Radiation from a cobalt-60 salted Sarbama 100 megaton bomb kicking up a ginormous tsunami, 1,000, 2,000 high. It's not inconsequential, to put it the least. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room, and I'm going to go to the articles. Pardon me for not opening that up sooner, but I just wanted to kind of get some of the preliminaries out there. I've been a little muted in what I say because, again, there's people asleep just right over there. And they're getting up early, and I got to get up early too. So let me take care of some business here and pull up my, oops, where are we at here? I'll pull up the chat room. I'll monitor it over here. There we are. Let's see how many people we got in the house. We started late tonight. And we got 68 watching. Not so many. Oh, Lord. Hey, Joan, how you doing? You're really easy to follow. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. So, Hayes and Jamin, Michelle Young. So, Shelley, okay, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Let's get on here. We're a little bit low on our start, maybe just because I've just not been doing as many videos. I have started late and had a ton of viewers. Okay, they're starting to come in. So maybe we'll get more here in a little bit. So we're going to go into the articles. If you're just joining, you can do the rewind and catch what we talked about. But for the benefit of the coffee club morning watchers, let's hit some news. So I got to hit the share screen. Ding, 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 ding. Bing, here we are, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Putin, top ally, makes nuclear threat of 9/11 style attack on eve of the anniversary. He said this just before our 22nd anniversary of 9/11. Some of the significant numbers, 11, 22. Fortunately, nothing happened that I know of on that date. So, guys, this could be playing into Biden's hand, according to the intel I've heard, which said that the United States may stage an event that fit in line with the kind of stuff he's talking about, because he said possibly involving nuclear or biological elements. So I don't know. That's a new one for Medvedev. He's always threatened the nuclear side. So that's a little bit of a different wrinkle. And here is another article talking the same stuff. All right, so let's go on. Let's rock on. We'll rock through some articles real quick here. Vladimir Putin promotes general who warns Ukraine is only the beginning. And we got another article on that. Russian general says Ukraine is a stepping stone to invade Europe. Okay, guys. This is totally in keeping with something Vladimir Putin himself said when he went to the Peter the Great celebration he had many, many months ago, which reinforced something I had said earlier. And it's been a historical example since the days of Peter and Catherine the Great, from the very beginnings of the Russian Empire, that the Russian Empire and later Soviet Empire military strategy was one and the same, because it was flat plains all the way into Moscow for long distance. Moscow's easy to invade, that it was Moscow's grand strategy to reach far forward and plug the gaps through which invading forces could come in. Russia's been invaded something like 50 times in their history from Europe in such directions. So you can see how, after especially the war they had with the Germans in World War II, you can see how they would be very paranoid about being invaded. And really, they lost millions of people in World War II. So what they want to do is not the Zawoski Gap, but farther forward, the gaps on each side of the Carpathian Mountains is what they would want to seal, the northern and the southern gaps, because Carpathian Mountains are something of a natural barrier. What they didn't count on was Finland going into NATO. Now they suddenly got a whole new border to defend, and they're already doing that. Russia's already putting troops up there. We'll show that in a minute. But Russia wants to seal these gaps to keep other forces from coming in. They've always historically wanted to do that, and that's what Vladimir Putin actually confirmed during the Peter the Great ceremony he had, that he was going to follow that lead, follow that example. What that means is that Ukraine is not a destination. Ukraine is a stepping stone, as many in Russia have said, including this new general, who is Lieutenant General Andrei Mordvichev. I'm saying that right. Mordvichev, something like that. Like a Mordabon mischief, right? I don't know, guys. So you tell me what y'all think about that. But this has been the Russian strategy. Oh, hey, we got a super chat. Michelle Young. Shame you have to use code words on your news. Oh, wait. Hey, it's the platform. You know how it goes here. But thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God. Windows is trying to close my computer over here, wanting me to close it, and so's Norton and everything else trying to shut down my little computer. I'm watching the chat on. Get tons of messages here. Esli, Satan 2 versus Minuteman 3. Yeah, you use 10 MIRV warheads per Satan 2, a lot more. Plus, they can launch them not over the North Pole. That missile is so powerful, they can launch it over the South Pole. And we don't got nothing looking. I'm using bad English on purpose for emphasis, okay? For those that go, oh, look at his English. He can't speak English. Yes, I understand English, but sometimes it's a little more emphasis to say words like ain't. But launching over the South Pole requires far more power. They can launch this thing over the South Pole and come at the United States from over the Gulf of Mexico. And yeah, we don't have a dew line, the modern equivalent of dew. It's not called a dew line anymore, but we don't have a modern equivalent of all the radar installations looking south that we got looking north over the North Pole. And I might remind you that my good friend, Ambassador Hank Cooper, who I've had on this channel before, has advocated putting Aegis Ashore missiles and radars in the Panhandle of Florida, southern Alabama, and places like that, along the Gulf of Mexico, Eglin Air Force Base, to take stuff out, to see and take stuff coming out from that direction. Oh yeah, that's a good reason why we may be attacked from Venezuela, as the vision that Stacy Zavicki had. It is our vulnerable, soft underbelly, and it is unguarded to this date. Something ought to be done about that. We need a missile system like Fort Greely has here looking south. We need Aegis Ashores looking south. We need ground-based radar looking south. And we don't have that. We're totally vulnerable to surprise attack from Antarctica with a Satan II missile. And each Satan II missile could take out with the warheads an area the size of Texas. That means 10 MIRV warheads, 2 megatons each, or 380 megatons, whatever it is. I have to go back. Well, what the Russians, about 800 megatons, 800 kilotons is a typical warhead. They've got 800 kilotons. Yeah, they could take out 10 big cities in Texas, for example, 10 biggest or 10 main targets. That's the kind of damage they could do. So this is not inconsequential by any means. Hey, good night. Good morning, good night, whichever they're win the streak. Yeah, it's still night for me, morning for some. All earthlanders are seaweed. Glowing personality. Let's hope, it's not glowing from radioactive fallout. All right, guys, or being nuked directly. So this is just to show you the kind of stuff that's being taught. Putin will threaten Ukraine with nuclear weapons this winter, says Zelensky. I don't know, that's Zelensky's talking. It could happen. But with the satellite see them coming, James, they might see the launches, but they may not know which way they're going. So there's some limitations. See, satellite, you got to have quite an array of satellites to monitor everything. But our main warning system is radars looking over the horizon, and we just don't have that. So, guys, so if this don't tell you, you need to be prepping. I don't know what does. You can always go to prepwithgreg.com, and it will take you here. Prepwithgreg.com will take you here, and there is long-term food storage with special prices. These prices have not increased. Unlike everything else in the grocery store, these prices have stayed the same for like a year or more, which really surprises me considering how much some of these base ingredients have gone up in this stuff. This is stuff that lasted 25 years, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, over 2,000 calories a day, guys. And if you're not into the long-term food storage, which you need to consider some way to do that, you can always go in here and click on the logo up here, My Patient Supply, and it will take you into many other things like water filtration, air filtration, survival items, and other options on long-term food storage. And they do have meat packages, veggie packages, fruit packages. There's quite a variety of things here. Water purification. So check it out. Just look at it, see what you think. If it's for you, if you see something you like, consider it. If not, move on. I'm not twisting your arm so you get it, but I'd really advocate long-term food storage, guys, and gardening too. But most people are novice gardeners, So you better have something to see you through just for a while you get your gardening skills in order. Again, prepwithgreg.com. All right, let's move on. Russia develops its military bases near the Finnish border. I said Russia has a vast military, only a fraction of which has been deployed to Ukraine. They still have a lot of military out on the Pacific, the Kamchatka Peninsula area, their Vladivostok bases on the Pacific, the Arctic Ocean, and they're also monitoring Finland. So, and they're building bases there because they have a new border frontier there that they're going to have to watch. Hey, Winning Street, well, thank you. Much love. All right. So, appreciate that. Hope you can stay with us while we get through here, Winning Street. All right. So, yeah, Russia has to spread their forces out. China actually has an internal military to police their own people bigger than their external military, which is quite large. Now, there's different articles here talking about how many men Russia is going to be recruiting to put into force in Ukraine. This is 150,000 men will be thrown in. Russian soldier reveals fears of huge Ukrainian Crimean liberation force. So Russia is committed to throwing a lot of troops into the fray here. I've seen bigger numbers. Let's see if I've got an article. Yeah, look here. Russia's mobilization plans point to mass conscription of up to 700,000 reservists. You take this and combine it with all the munitions they're going to be getting from North Korea, missiles they're getting from Iran, and the fact that Russia is gearing up its factories, and now they're bringing their own brand new produced missiles and ammunition into the war. Ukraine's going to have to war. Ukraine's a small country. It's only got so many people. No matter how much stuff the West throws at it, there's only so many Ukrainian people available to be soldiers. At some point, Ukraine hits the wall. That's why I say time is on Russia's side. Hey, Jesse, thanks for joining us and good night. Appreciate you calling for the thumbs up. We got 121 in the room now. That's very good, to be honest. With the radiation of World War III, nuclear war kills more. The EMP will kill more, because EMP will cause more radiation than all the nuclear weapons when the nuclear power plants forget the nuclear power plants, forget the reactors. When the spent fuel rods go up in smoke for lack of power to run the cooling pools, there is vastly more radioactive material available there than all the nuclear warheads on Earth times more than 100. So, not to mention, you're going to starve to death. So I am more concerned with EMP than I am a full-scale nuclear war. I've done several videos on that. I've talked about that at length. I am more concerned about an EMP than I am full-scale nuclear war. I'm also more concerned about China than I am Russia. I'm concerned about Russia because it's kind of imminent and we're poking the bear. And the bear might bite back. You poke the bear, sooner or later the bear bites back. China, the dragon, is bigger. China has designs beyond the designs of Russia. So China has production capacity. China has the reach. China has a lot of things that Russia could only dream of. China is the biggest threat to the world, not Russia. If you disagree with that, say so. I'd love to hear it. And I'm sure some people will. But, elections in the same time. Okay, big Ukraine. My thoughts on, I can't see it all. EMP. There's some letters that are popping up strong because there's a heart appearing in the chat section. Okay, now I can see it. Okay, it is. Greg, your thoughts on EMP, non-nuclear. Okay. Non-nuclear EMPs are a tactical thing that can be used to take out specific targets. And I mentioned this in a previous video where I talked about the Chinese developing new magnetic compression or called pinch weapons. It's got different names. We used to call it a pinch weapon. Now they call them magnetic compression weapons that make EMPs. There's different ways to do EMP waveforms, but the smaller non-nuclear ones are more of a tactical battlefield application, although they could take a few suitcase devices and put them at strategic places in the United States and cause localized EMPs and take out data centers, take out power substations without the normal kind of attacks we've been talking about, the ballistic attacks, take out substations. There's too many ways to take out our substations. There's too many ways our grid needs to be secured. Yeah, an if you do, and Wanda Tucker's right, if you do an EMP from a couple hundred miles up right over the center of the United States, you could take out Canada, most of Canada, almost the entire United States, except maybe the northeast corner of Maine and lots of Mexico. So that's what you're looking at, guys. Hey, New Days is here. Good morning, New Days. I just mentioned Maine, and I showed a picture of a trailer in a county up in Maine, mass casualty response support trailer. I wonder where that came from. Anyway, Russians attack Ukraine with newly made weapons. That's what I'm telling you guys. Russia is making new weapons. Everybody talk about how Russia's going to run out of this, Russia run out of that. No, they're making new stuff. And they're getting drones, and they're getting missiles from Iran, and they're getting now artillery from North Korea. In exchange, North Korea will be getting nuclear technology, satellite technology, and other things that they can use to prosecute war from their side, submarine technology, stuff like that. Ukraine says it would have a small group of trained combat pilots ready to fly F-16s by this winter. F-16s are something that Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, has warned would be a pretty much a red line because F-16s could carry nuclear weapons. Well, we probably think, well, Ukraine's not going to have nuclear weapons, but Russia doesn't seem to agree or accept that. So we shall see. Now here's what's interesting. All kind of rumors are circulating that Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Wagner Group, is still alive and hiding out. What does this mean? Could he be? Is it possible? Guys, I don't know, but there's all kind of speculation to that effect. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un arrives in Russia for an expected meeting with Putin. We already had the meeting, guys. That's what I said. They negotiated swaps of artillery for swaps of technology. There's also been suggestions that North Korean troops might get involved in supporting Russia in one way or another, maybe manning the border with Finland, or perhaps even in Ukraine or beyond. So this is RT, U.S. decline. See, they're talking about the decline of the United States here in RT and a bunch of other things. It's talking about the deal between Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. Kim Jong-un don't look too happy there. I'm giving up my artillery, but I'm getting something back. I don't know. What's he look so unhappy? I've seen the other pictures of him smiling. So you can see again more articles on this. This is from again a Russian news source. For those that say I get all my news from one place or the other, then you're wrong. Yeah, I get news from totally outside sources, but I can't show what I'm told by my EMP task force committees and so forth. Billy, I think we will strike first, says my peeps. Hey, I don't know. Hey, Billy, the kid, Norwood, how you doing? We strike first, we win. That's really about what it boils down to. He who strikes first wins. That's the way the nuclear war will be played. I've made that case before, and I went in great detail to explain it. And Billy, the kid, he's on top of it. He remembers. I like it when somebody remembers stuff I put in the videos before. So many people, hey, why don't you cover so-and-so? I did like 40 times. Don't you watch my videos? Oh, we're watching one and listen to Blue Moon. Yeah. Hey, that's got a G and a G in it, don't it? Where's that come from? That's Gaga D get, right? Anyway, yeah, gadget. All right. So Russia's new $30 million Rostov-on-Don submarine, which carries caliber missiles, could have been hit by the Storm Shadow or Scalp EG cruise missiles. The Scalp EG cruise missile is the French cruise missile. The Storm Shadow is the United Kingdom's cruise missile. Not only hit perhaps this submarine, but it also looks like it hit a major warship called the Minsk, which is the capital city, named after the capital city of Belarus. So we shall have to see, guys. That river mama, hey there. What's going on with the ports? Yeah, well, the ports got attacked big time here in Crimea. Major attack with these longer range cruise missiles, which they're saying more of this is to come. Let's see, we'll see some more articles on this. I think Ukraine war, Crimean shipyard attack. Hey, Billy the Kid, Norway, thank you so much. Salute, Billy the Kid, Norway, awesome. I'm appreciating that. Very much. Michelle Young, Billy the Kid, Norway, two of my super troopers that's always in here contributing to the channel. All righty. So Russians began to equip new defense line in deep rear in the south. This is what I said, guys. You know, all this noise about where Ukraine's broke through the first line of defense of the Russians, which is the hardest line. But of course, they didn't seem to get through the second or third lines and anywhere, at least not the third line. And Russia's putting a lot of effort down here into reinforcing this southern line here. So it's going to be hard for Ukraine to break through. Very hard. If Ukraine does break through, if they move fast enough after breaking through and get in the rears and cut out the supply lines for Russia and maybe pinch off some of the troops, divide them, Russia would be in a bad situation. So Ukraine has a chance if they move fast, but they ain't moving fast. If they could move fast, man, it's hard to punch through all that stuff. Russia's got very formidable defenses. Oh, well, thank you, Billy Kid. Appreciate it. Is there any news about the nuclear power plant in Ukraine? Have they found a way to keep the radioactive waste cool? They got like one power line, one or two little power lines running in there that's been knocked out intermittently. It's all real dicey on that still, very dicey. What they've really got to do is come up with a good alternate supply of water, a way to pump it from either what's left of the river there, the Dnieper River, or wells. But wells really don't source a lot of water at once unless you get a whole bunch of really big wells and some major pumps to suck it up. Your typical well pump is not sufficient. Typically, a nuclear reactor spent fuel rod pool evaporates 160 gallons of water per minute. The spent fuel rod pools there at Zaporizhzhia are supplying 6 nuclear reactors. It's an old plant, and so there's more than one pool per plant. There are quite a few pools out there. We've seen it in the satellite photographs in the past on the outside, and there's some probably within the building itself. So those things are evaporating ginormous amounts of water. It takes a lot of water to keep all that cool. And we'll just have to say, hey, Lee, food and gas prices are going no matter. Yeah, that's not much we'll talk about toward the end. We're going to talk about economics and why all these restrictions by the Federal Reserve by upping interest rates is not stopping and will not stop inflation, especially within items like food and things like that, food, water, fuel. Yeah, Chewy, I can't keep my internet connection going. Okay, Chewy, I appreciate your support. Chewy is always warning me about what's going on with the weather. Hope you can stay in. If not, glad you joined us. Did Greg Vid9 come? Vid9? I don't know. What is the Vid9? Tell me what Vid9 is. It'll be interesting to see the live stream. There you go. Now, y'all can always come back and watch this rewind and catch it from the beginning, since a lot of you guys are just coming in here. All right, so So it's not just Russia, guys. As I said earlier, I'm more concerned about China than Russia. Why? Oh gosh, I'm trying not to open everything. China has a lot more resources. China has been the world's factory. China, although they're having major economic problems in China, which might be the thing that would instigate them, kind of like I said, Biden may need a war to stay in power. Well, so may Xi Jinping. And as such, that makes China even more dangerous. The dragon may be hungry. The eagle is hungry. The bear is getting poked. So what's going to happen? Not like, hey, show maiden. Yeah, I've had a hard time coming here. So we got show maiden. You're in the United Kingdom. Appreciate you being here. We'll have to poll everybody, see where you're from here. Saying show maiden's always a good thing to have for a warrior. Sometimes the show maidens are warriors. All right, guys. So this is it. This is one of the big warning signs I've mentioned. When China starts massing troops on the coast, watch out. Well, it's happening. It is happening. You know, like I've said to many people, I would be really concerned about, actually, here we are right in the fall. This is right at the edge of the turnaround season in which the sea states of the Taiwan Strait are the calmest. That season is on right now, but it will end soon. I would suspect October would be the latest they'd want to run out on that, but we are at the turnaround season, in which China could actually make an invasion this year within the next few weeks. I would expect it to be more likely in 2024 if it were to happen. There's so much happening in 2024, been an election year and everything else, but who knows? China, Xi Jinping may need a war sooner rather than later, just to keep himself in power. So, fight, bumpy, pot, Euphrates River running dry. Yes, Revelations. Well, I'll share something else from Revelations in here in a little bit, okay? Yeah, we got more Revelations coming, or more end-time biblical stuff. So we may be there, guys. I worry about China as well, more military and more land masses, more tech. Yes. Russia has more nukes. But I think China has a lot more nukes than what our intel community lets on, because they're building the missiles to carry them. And China's also just stormed 40 warplanes in the Taiwan Strait. So, guys, Taiwan is seeing the signs that that China is really making designs toward an invasion. All right, what is going on here? Too many things popping up here. Communist China preparing for war with America, says Air Force Secretary. Well, of course they are, because they think they got to fight us to take Taiwan. And who knows, taking Taiwan might not be enough for this guy to stay in power. He might need something bigger to play. It might be to his interest to have this kind of a big war. Who knows? He and Biden may be making backdoor deals to fight. I don't know, guys. I doubt that. But geez, they both have similar needs here. Reagan, Arizona. I am in Arizona. I absolutely am. I'm in Arizona right now. I might show some pictures and a little bit from my phone. I gotta be careful. I don't want too much metadata going out over the channels. I don't know how I'm going to handle it if I actually were to move out here or spend a good bit of time here. Now, my bug out location is that direction. I finally got a road in. I'll tell you guys about that in a bit. We go through this articles first. All right, guys. Pentagon report warns of China's cyber preparations. Guys, this is nothing new. I've been telling you about this. Suddenly the Pentagon's warning about it. It come out that China's hacked everything. Their software is all in our critical defense control stuff within the Pentagon throughout all our networks. That's what come out. China has thoroughly hacked the U.S. defense software system, our means of directing counterattacks, our means of directing an attack on China, our means of coordinating. I mean, our whole military survives on data fusion of multi-role agencies and groups and military units to be able to operate combined forces operations is the big buzzword. Data fusion is a big buzzword. Future combat systems. All this requires tons of data coordination through our computers, going to the Pentagon. Guys, if all this stuff's hacked, what good is it? To launch our nuclear systems, we have to send out EAMs. We can't launch a single nuke without EAMs, given the codes and the authorizations, not even the gravity bombs from aircraft. All this stuff requires all these codes and verifications. If your computer systems are hacked, if your comm systems get taken out by EMP, you know nuke. And if you know a nuke, then you're a puke. Yeah, in a world war. So this is a big threat. People are underestimating what a threat this is, and having the ability to do this might tempt China to make a first strike on the United States. It's like Billy the Kid Norwood said earlier in here. He who strikes first in a nuclear war wins. Especially if the other side can't do anything. That so many people, time after time after time after time after time after time, after I've explained what the problem was, come in, oh, well, China, nobody's going to launch on us because we got our submarines at sea. Talk about that so much as to why that's not a deterrent. At least it's not the deterrent that we like to think it is. So many times I've said this and talked about how our comm systems get taken out and how we can't launch, and yet next video I put out, somebody's going to make that comment. Nobody's going to launch because we got the submarines. I wish that were true. I hope it is true, that is a deterrent to stop launches. But the other side thinks they can take out our strategic weapons on the land and our bombers, our missiles, and then neutralize the submarines by taking out our comms network. What deterrent do we have? Really? That used to not be the case, but we've designed it that way. Remember the movie Crimson Tide? Yeah, some more. Excuse me, throat's getting dry. I'm in the desert here. The air is dry. Throats get dry easy. So, just in the Russian doctrine, strike first. Yeah. China too. It may, China may say they have a no first strike policy. If you believe that, then you'll believe they want to honor the Law of the Sea Treaty, which they signed and already violated. They'll honor the Treaty of Hong Kong, which they signed, which they already violated. Don't believe communists. Don't ever believe communists. Communists always lie. Ain't no treaty with a communist or a dictator is worth the paper it's written on unless you have some really good means to verify it. But China doesn't allow inspectors in there to look at their nuclear stuff. So forget that, guys. Just forget it. So many people think China's so lovely and beautiful and loving us. Wow. About like a cat loves a mouse that's got caught between its paws. Of course, we're not quite between the paws yet, but yeah, it's something to be aware of. Something to be aware. Yep, Crimson Tide. Hey, I'm from Alabama. Roll Tide. But yeah, that was an interesting movie. But in the end of the movie, they explained how the EAM systems would prevent that kind of thing from happening. And yeah, that's why it was instituted. But on the other hand, the EAM systems may also prevent us from being able to respond. We need to rethink that whole structure for nuclear response and come up with some alternative, which has not been done yet. China is likely headed to full-blown financial crisis. Yes, that is true. And again, that may be all the more reason that this man, Xi Jinping, might decide to wag the dog and launch a bigger war. Stay in office, just like Biden might himself. So one of the big things is going on. We are at war. It's an economic war. Thank you for sharing the Goldbacks there, New Days. We are in an economic war, guys. China is set up BRICS with Russia, and the whole purpose is to bring down the U.S. economy. And that is not a joke. And some people say, they can't do it, but they're chipping away at it. Already trading outside of the dollar for oil. And oh yeah, who just joined BRICS? Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia could crush our petrodollar so fast. And there's even talk that maybe Saudi Arabia will not accept dollars for payments for oil. What would that do? What would that do? We'll come back to that in a minute. Oh yeah, prophecy, guys. Somebody was talking prophecy. First red heifer in 2,000 years. 2,000 years. People say this heralds the building of the third temple. And the building of the third temple is thought to be something that would incite war between Israel and the Arab world, because it would have to take down the, what's the name of it? The LS, how do you say that? Again, LS, oh shit, I don't know the name of it. I can't come up with it right now. That mosque sitting on the Dome of the Rock, it's also called the Dome of the Rock. There's actually two mosques up there that they're holy to the Muslim world, very holy. Like it's the second most holy site to the Muslims. So, but it's also the most holy site to the Jews and holy to the Christians. So what's going to happen? Are they going to have a war over all that? A lot of people think so. So there are all kinds of stuff leading us toward World War III. U.S. to launch CBDC currency to confront the BRICS de-dollarization. Oh my God. It's like, okay, how many bad things can we pile in at one time? So our dollar is getting messed up. So now they want to use this as an excuse to come up with this thing, which is worse. Yeah, sounds about right. Geez, we don't want the CBDC. All right, so there was articles saying, oh yeah, but the one is sliding, the dollar is still strong, but then all at once the tables have turned. U.S. dollar sinks against every major currency. This was last Monday. Maybe it's recovered since, but Monday was not a good day for the dollar. Dollar jumps most in 2 months as won and yen rally on pushback. BRICS, India aggressively dumping U.S. dollar, insiders say. Even India. Why? India don't like China, but India wants to be a world player. And they're coming up fast in this regard. Oil prices, guys. Yeah. So what I say, Saudi Arabia is cutting productions, and that's going to raise oil prices. They're talking about oil going up maybe another $1 a gallon as a result of this. Well, that's going to be lovely, right? Yeah, guess what? 90% of the trade would, this is going to hit the dollar. So guys, here's what it boils down to. Let's look at this. What drives inflation, and why is it that raising interest rates is not likely to do anything but cause economic traversity here in America? There's three things that drive inflation. Demand. If there's a lot more demand for stuff, prices go up. Supply. If the supply goes down, prices go up. Amount of money available. If there's a glut of money, inflation goes up. All these things drive prices up. So if there's more dollars out there than the world wants, because we're not trading them to buy oil and a lot of other trade between nations, the money supply is in excess. We're right now dealing with all kinds of shortages in the world because of a compilation of a whole lot of things, including the war between Ukraine and Russia, and the grain and other things, resources, and including Saudi Arabia cutting back the oil. That's supply. Supply's down. And then we got the money supply up. So demand. That's the only thing that interest rates can hit on, is the demand curve. They can try to drive demand down by jacking interest rates up, but they've already jacked interest rates up so much, they've driven the demand down about as much as they can. What we're talking about now is people are just struggling to buy bare essentials for the most part. People aren't out buying luxury gifts and giant houses and cars, yet we're going to be required to spend as much money to buy An electric vehicle is a luxury vehicle cost almost practically by the government. So they're trying to force us to spend money on things that we may not want. At the same time, they're hammering us not to spend money. How does that work? What a traversity. And what else drives inflation is government spending, government debt. We got so much debt, and the debt's going up faster and faster and faster. So the problem is, all the Federal Reserve is doing is crushing the housing market. They're crushing small businesses. They're crushing, the government's giving money to the big companies. They're funding the big companies. They're giving them money left and right. So the big companies, the big boys who are all friends of the House of Klaus, they got nothing to worry about because they get government moolah. They don't have to perform. They don't have to do anything. Guys, this is why I always tell you on this channel to spend your money locally. Every unit of money you spend, whether it's a dollar or whatever, is a vote. You want to vote for the House of Klaus? Then spend your money on their associates. But you know what? We've already proven as a country that we cannot do that. We've already proven that we can upset their apple cart immensely. Just look at Bud Light. Yes, the power is with the people. We just have to wake up and recognize it and use it. And how you vote with your dollar may be more important than the ballots you cast in the ballot box. They can fake the ballots you cast in the ballot box, but they can't fake how you spend your money. Whatever form it comes in. So keep that in mind, guys. We have the ultimate power. We just have to wake up and realize it. Shove your foot up. There you go, Camping Way. Amen. Amish country will be first place National Guard order to take. Oh, yeah, poor Amish. They have no means of self-defense. And they'll probably get picked on by everybody when it hits the fan. They know how to produce, they know how to survive, except they don't know how to defend themselves. Anyway, maybe some of us ought to help them out. Well, with all the other pressures on the dollar, is it any surprise that they're saying gold prices are going to hit $5,000 in 3 years? Wow. I don't know, guys. That's a huge increase in gold price. So it might be a good time to consider buying gold and silver. Silver is a good investment. You can buy gold and silver bullion right here with Defy the Grid. And just use the code GreenGregs, and you get 1% off. Defy the Grid. You'll see that listed in one of my videos. The link to this, and I think he's already shared this, but you can come in here and you can buy bullion, you can buy coins, and they got a deal that if you find a better price somewhere else, they'll meet it or beat it. How do you beat that? And what I like here is you can get the gold backs. So the gold backs are really interesting because this is a fungible way to spend gold. They're made out of gold. So that's pretty awesome, guys. And this is like you can go buy a loaf of bread with a one note. Check that out. So yeah, they're coming different amounts for different types. But check it out, guys. Some interesting thing here. I like check out this Utah one note, 645. That's one. That's all comes in thousandths of a troy ounce. That's how these are denominated. This is probably the best deal right here. The Utah note, 385. Wow, that's a nice price. There's your loaf of bread or dozen eggs. Try that with gold bar. All right, guys. So, yeah, OPEC production cuts send oil prices and volatility surging, just like I said. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's at defythegrid.com and use the discount code GreenGregs, get 1% off. All right, guys, let's talk some weather stuff. We just had Hurricane Dan. It occurred in the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, excuse me, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm thinking Dan from, what was that movie with Forrest Gump? Yeah, Lieutenant Dan. and not riding the ship on the hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. No, this is the hurricane, Dan, that occurred in the Mediterranean Sea, which is a very rare occurrence, and it hit Libya. And some of the last articles I saw said 5,000 casualties. It may be 10,000 dead or missing in Libya. Huge tragedy there. Yeah, this article says more than 5,000 missing. It caused there was so much rain that 2 major dams burst, and it just flooded entire communities. Some of the communities there were basically in flood areas like our draws here. Oh yeah, there was also that Moroccan earthquake, guys. I don't see that here, and I didn't bring that article. I meant to put that up here. Morocco had a major earthquake, and the last count I saw from yesterday was 2,800 no longer with us, and many more missing. My daughter was in Morocco just, a little over a week ago, maybe 2 weeks, just recently in Morocco. I'm glad she got out. My daughter is a software engineer. She's does security software for a company, and she's done really well for herself. So I'm really proud of her. She's been able to do a lot of stuff, and she's also a opera singer. That's my youngest daughter. So she's a young professional out doing her thing, and she's taking advantage of her youth to be able to travel and do some things before she settles down. X-Dragon, thank you. Thank you for asking for the thumbs up. We got 114 in the room and only 99 thumbs up. All right, guys, help me with that. Al Gore has no rhythm. We need all the help we can get here because this platform does not favor the kind of content I put out. But algorithms do respond to some things like thumbs up and discussions that y'all may have. All right, so many natural disasters and man-made disasters. Yes, we may be heading to the end days, guys. Yeah, well, whatever the case is, we're heading for a bumpy ride. It's our mission to try to survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive and have as much of us get through this as possible, shake the dust off, and stand up and build a better world. Now look at this. I don't even want to read this. If I even repeat what's in science.org here, I might get canned by the platform. What do y'all think? Read it for yourself. Some things are just too touchy to touch. Here we go. Okay, Morocco death toll. Now it's 2901. But this was as of 2 days ago. So it was updated a day ago. Well, I'm on the 14th, but only a few hours into it. So, yeah, Morocco, they've had entire cities just turned into boulders. When there was a town, a city, all you find there now is boulders. Seriously, literally. Morocco has been hit extremely hard. Yeah, more of this, guys. See all these governors that declared all these shutdowns. Oh, they're just wanting all kind of power. So what's happening in New Mexico? I got to drive back through that state. Holy guacamole, smoke-a-moly. And if I don't go through Mexico, I got to go through Colorado. Maybe I should drive all the way to Montana to get back to Alabama. Holy guacamole, smoke-a-moly, guys. This is nuts. Nuts. Yikes. All right, weather. Hey, New Days, this is coming to you. Lee is going to blow hard on Maine. Lee is coming after New Days, guys. So huffing and a puffing. Going to be blowing hard up there. Hurricane Lee, apparently. We're talking 8 p.m. Saturday morning. It's going to be up in this area. See that, guys? This is not a joke. This is a hurricane to be taken very seriously. People up in this region from Massachusetts all around up in here have very little experience with storms like this. Storm surges are the biggest threat. And it can be, you need to see what the storm surges could be in your area. And don't stay home and try to ride the storm out. A storm surge will take your house and put it out in the ocean. And your house is probably not a boat. And it will probably be crumpled and you're going to sink and nobody will ever see you again. This is serious. Pull your windows up and get the heck out of Dodge, especially if you're in a storm surge area. Winds are horrific. There's tornadoes come out of these things, the lightning storms. These things are no joke. I suggest going and checking out the Survival Living channel. Survival Living channel is a really good channel here on this platform. The guy is down in Florida. He deals with these things and he gives advice about stuff like surviving hurricanes. He's got a really good channel. I give him a thumbs up. Hey, Larry, you definitely need to put hardtack into something wet. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, all right, guys. Windy. Now we can have a look at this thing. Oh, yeah, by the way, just give you a comparison. Everybody thinks Arizona's hot. Not all of Arizona. So here, Huntsville is now at 68 degrees. That's close to where I'm from. But Snowflake. And brought it up. I gotta zoom in one more time to get Snowflake. Where I'm at right now, 59 degrees, 9 degrees cooler. Phoenix is 80. See the difference? Everybody thinks Phoenix is what all Arizona is. Phoenix and Tucson. Buckeye, 84. Tucson, 75. What? 80 to 55, 80 to 59. Get that? See that, guys? Over here, Alpine, 46. Flagstaff, 53. Show Low, just up the road from you, right here, 55. Give you some idea. I got to make it into Holbrook the next few days. So there you are, guys. Big differences in temperatures. So let's go out here and look at the storm. We'll look across the country here and the world. This hurricane is down here, man. Bermuda is going to get hammered. Hamilton. Yeah, we not want to be in Bermuda right now. Right-hand side of these storms is the worst part, guys. And Bermuda is probably getting hammered bad. The entire coast is going to have problems with surf. This thing could veer. Hurricanes are known to turn unexpectedly. It could hit anywhere on the coast, but they're projecting this area right here, Nova Scotia, St. John, Maine, all the way down into the Cape Cod area to be the most vulnerable to this storm. Look at here, we got another one. Oh my gosh. And yeah, this is going to be an active season, guys. A lot of other things out here, potentials for storms. Dan should be gone now. Dan is no more, but Dan did its damage. Yeah, my daughter was in the hospital in Morocco for a day. She got sick over there. My peeps feed them well. There you go. The Titanic area. Yeah, that's where this one's at. So, all right, guys. We be aware. Be very aware. Tampa, 77. Jacksonville, 77. Atlanta, 70. Lexington, Kentucky, 60. 57. Oh, it's cool in Lexington. Washington, D.C., 70. Columbus, 53. Detroit, 53. Let's see what it is up here in Maine. Where New Days is at. Oh, 64. Wow. You're warmer than up in your area than I am where I'm at. See, my high desert is cooler than Maine, which often gets compared to Alaska. Not quite as, it don't get quite as cold as Alaska can get, but it gets cold here. 50s all right across here in the north, west by what we used to call the Midwest. Wisconsin getting up in the 40s in the higher part of the state. 50, 53 in Madison, Milwaukee 57, Wisconsin Dells 50, Michigan, Detroit 53, Cadillac 48, Upper Peninsula in the 40s and 50s, St. Paul 52, Minnesota. There you go, Brian. Where you at, Brian? Or 48. North Dakota. My Air Force Base, 62 degrees. Wow. All up here warmer than I am. Bismarck, 62. South Dakota. 60s. Nebraska, 60s. Kansas, 60s. Oklahoma. City, 70. All right. Texas. Yeah, I have to go through Amarillo, 62. 79 down in Houston. That's getting close to 80. Corpus Christi, 84. New Mexico. Oh, Albuquerque is 77. Now they want me to subscribe. Look at all that stuff. Hey, is Arnold Smith in the house? You got anybody from Australia in the house? All right, we know where that we had chewy weather. If I hit the refresh button, if we get rid of all that stuff, let's try this. All right, got rid of their nonsense. I can usually make that go away by clicking somewhere else. There we go. Puts a marker there. Few weathers in Oregon, West Wokistan. Salem's 59, Portland's 59, 61 in Madras. Yeah, it's mostly 50s in Oregon. That's kind of like here. Washington State's in the 50s. Yeah, 46 in Kellogg, Idaho. 41 down here. Twin Falls, though, is 61. 66 in Grandview, quite a difference across Idaho. Alberta, 50s. 48 in Red Deer. 48 in Edson. Most of this is high 40s or low 50s. Dawson Creek in British Columbia, 48. I think I've been through there. Thunder Ridge. Hey, Samuel Turner. Glad to see you back on message. Gandalf with your new white hat and beard. You look like Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. Ye shall not move. Yeah, there you go. Ye shall not move. There we go, guys. Yeah, it's cooler, so I can have my hair down. Yeah, I put my hair up. It's 58 degrees outside here, according to the thermometer. The windowsill. 68 in the house. All right, guys. White Horse, 43. Haynes Junction, 41. We're in British Yukon territory now. Whoa, I didn't want to zoom in that much, not yet. Carmax, 41. Hey, I know John. Oh, look at all the snow up here. Oh, we got a lot of snow. You know, it's still summertime, guys. Still summertime. Till the 22nd. Delta Junction, 43. Ely, 35. Fairbanks, 43. Delta used to always be cooler than Fairbanks. Oh, what's going on up there? All right. This pass is at 30. Barris, 35. Wainwright is 41. Kotzebue, 44. Nome, 44. And we got usually some viewers down around Homer and Kodiak. 48. Homer, 46. Seward, 41. Kenai, 52. Anchorage, 52. Valdez, 44. Well, all that snow there, guys. Thou shall not pass. Yeah, you got it. You got it, Larry. All right. We got some snow in Siberia. Fair bit. Different places. Spain, let's see where Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un are playing together. Vladivostok right there, 68 degrees. Just storm on Hokkaido Island of Japan. Some intense storms there. Well, we've had some monsoons here in Arizona, guys. Talk to you about that in a minute. Tokyo, 77. Pretty warm in Tokyo, but look here. Guys, you know, China's got flooded, and China's been covering these floods up. Just look at this, guys. China's been hiding how much flooding they've been getting because flooding in Beijing is a sign, according to their mysticisms or whatever you call it, that the regime has to be replaced. And Xi Jinping does not want that kind of thing getting out. So they've been going to great lengths to hide the flooding they're getting over here. Hong Kong, you have a major storm in this area of Hong Kong. You see some circulation down here off Hainan Island. So there's just a lot of stuff going on down there. There's just a lot of flooding storms throughout Southeast Asia, Indochina, over here in India. Bangladesh gets hit hard a lot. So a lot of rain down here. I don't know, we can go look at the Strait of Taiwan and see what it's looking like. It's fairly windy to me right now in the Strait of Taiwan. Stuff right here, maybe. Let's see, let me put a marker here. 0 inches, I know what I want. It's rainfall. I'm getting more data than I want. Well, we'll check it out later. Let's go down to Australia. You get people in here from Australia. Anybody from Australia in here tonight? Marvin phone, ouch. Tube stopped for me. Oh. Maybe don't like what I'm talking about. So Australia has been in their winter time. Winter time is ending. Spring is beginning. WWIII is, well, it's spring yet. 80. Spring is about to spring down here. Sydney, 62. The capital city, Canberra, 59. A degree temperature warmer than here. Melbourne is 59. 59. All right. Horsham, how do they say that? 50. That's cooler. Tasmania is cooler, 53. Hobart is 61. That's actually warmer. New Zealand, Christchurch, 55. All right. Wanaka, I guess 46. Auckland, 57. New Plymouth, 55. All righty, guys. Oh, yeah, we didn't go to England. We got show maiden in the house. Got to go to England. Got anybody from France? Anybody from Africa? Saw 50, 70. Kyiv, 71. It's Moscow, 66. Moscow's warmer than where I'm at. All right, England, Hull, 61. Norwich, 64. London, 64. Birmingham, 659. Now look here. Douglas, 59. Sunderland, 61. Bristol, 62. Plymouth, 64. It's kind of cool over here in Ireland. Limerick is 57. They don't like a good limerick. See my Soul Head News channel. Some of my poetry. In the 50s up in Scotland. Glasgow is 59. Aberdeen is 59. Inverness, 57. Yep. Port of Ness, 55. Oh, yeah. Look at this, guys. We're getting back to Norway. Sometimes we get people from Norway in here. Norway's in the 40s and 50s, 35 down here. Oh, my gosh. I got that stuff on my screen again. I think we're about done with weather. Let's move on. Earthquakes. Hey, Bo Man. Sydney. I was showing Sydney earlier. Did you catch it? Couple hours from Nashville. Okay. I'll have to ask everybody where you're from a little bit. Got Scooby Snacks in the house too. Okay, we got ooh, look at this map. Holy smoke. On off the coast of Chile. 6.1 West Chile rise. And a second one there. Aftershock 4.9. Southeast of Eastern Island. New Caledonia 5.2. This up here. Solomon Islands. Well, Solomon Islands is active 5.2. Puerto Rico's got a lot of stuff going on as usual. Colombia 5.1. Gulf of California 4.0. Pinnacles, California 3.4. Kenai Peninsula, Alaska 2.5. Or look at that. Erythea 5.0. Morocco, poor Morocco. Another one, 4.6. Yeah, they don't need that in Morocco, but aftershocks are bad. So the death toll in Morocco is likely to go up, not only from bodies are still finding, but from new activity. That's sad. Let's go look at space weather. Surprise geomagnetic storm. An unexpected CME hit Earth's magnetic field September the 12th and sparked a G2 class geomagnetic storm lasted for more than 13 hours. And sometimes the length of the storm has a big effect of what it can do. This one was having a hard time with communications here a couple of days ago. A lot of smattering little sunspots across the sun. Some of them are high latitude, so maybe we've not reached southern maximum yet. When you see these at lower latitudes, it's indicative of southern maximum. So I think we might be getting close to it, maybe reaching southern maximum early. Well, auroras are fairly active. Oh, it's going to be sunrise in Maine here pretty soon. Look at that, new days. That's not too active of a aurora. I'm way back here in the dark, so I go to bed and a little bit. I might get a wink or two before the sunlight shines through the skylight and wakes me up in the room I'm staying in. There's your CME. Wow. Okay, guys. Look at that shadow of the moon on the Earth. Isn't that cool? It shows you where you're seeing the lunar eclipse. And people that's right under that will see the eclipse. People off to the side will not. Now, how does that work in a flat Earth, guys? It don't. Ooh, we had a close flyby here. Half the distance between the Earth and the moon. That's 7/10 the difference. On September the 8th and September the 9th, a few days ago. Small asteroids, 8 and 6 meters. Could have been a rocket body. Could have been a rocket. Well, they got fairly decent velocity. Oh, look at that. Very close velocities, 10.1 and 10.5. Interesting. Both those just discovered, probably after they passed by. Look at the high numbers on that. 2003, RK and RY. Those are new discoveries. Probably saw them pass. Oh, just yesterday we had a closey. Wow. Half a distance again, another 6 meters. So how from these closings are so small? Just like that one. Real close to that one, about the same distance. But, interesting. Nothing going forward that we know of passing between the Earth and the moon. Of course, several days ago when I last did a live, I said the same thing. Look what popped up. That's why I say what we know of. Anyway, so that concludes the regular newscast portion of this. We're going to look at the chat room, and I need to hit the hay. It's getting late here. I don't want to follow my phone did. Lord, no pesticides on my garden. Very good. Let's stop the share. Ding, 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 ding. Bing. Hello. Oh, yeah, I got to tell my tales of my adventures here pretty soon. Stuff happening out here. Do not use Tenacious. You mean tenacious earth? What do you call it? Diatomaceous earth. What you're trying to say? Right down. Made out of diatoms. I think that's what you meant to say. Why? Why not use that? I don't use pesticides. No diam earth. Why, Lord? Lord Doctor. Whoop. Jeez, I dropped the phone. 3, 4, that's massive. Right. Very good. Hey, Stangle Turner. As you know, 100% fear China more than Russia. Rumors are starting to pop up that China's military is now staging just across from Taiwan. Yeah, that's what I posted. That's what I just said. Tanks, aircraft, and hardware rapidly being shipped in for staging. Yeah, diatomaceous, exactly. It's yeah. I did report on that Taiwan was putting that out, and I did say, and I've said for a long time that was a major sign of a potential invasion from China. China really appears that they are determined to actually invade Taiwan. They may wait till the Taiwanese election, see how that goes, but it's probably not going to go in their favor. Knowing that, they might go ahead and stage an invasion. So, but Samuel Turner, salute. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your support. Wow, appreciate that. White powder. What is that, Sandra? You talking about the Biden administration now? White powder? Diatomaceous. Get this thing out of focus. I should jerk it back. It forces it to focus. There we go. Got to upset the camera. I've heard of people using diatomaceous earth in worm beds with no bad effect, but I have not tried it myself. I've not tried it myself. Squash bugs, total loss this year. All right. How you doing? Leslie Granville, how does diatomaceous earth work with composting? Does it disrupt the ecosystem? It kills things like slugs. It kills a lot of insects because the chitin is tore up by the diatomaceous earth. Earthworms, I'm going to have to test them, but I've heard everybody I know says that it don't affect earthworms. So I'll have to test it myself one day. That'll be a good video subject for a future video. So, all right, Mr. My peeps, yes, it does what you says it. You insist it kills worms. I will do a video on that one day. I'm gonna set up one day a worm test area, just do various different things. That's one of my big plans one day going forward. I may have to start another channel. This channel started out to be worms and gardening. Every time I post videos on this channel, it tanks and hurts my. I may have to start another Green Greg's channel. Green Greg's Greens, Green Greg's, Green Greg's Garden or something like that. Garden and Worms, Garden and Worm Farm. I don't know. Hey, bring back ping pong. Maybe they will listen. ping pong balls like in Captain Kangaroo. Watching smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. And don't tell me there's nothing to do. All right. Appear weak when you're strong. Art of war. You're right, Esley. That channel will probably end up in Australia. Oh, they might. That's why I'd worry if I was in Australia. Australia is small and China's huge, and you got a lot of resources. So I would worry about that if I were Australia. Hopefully they can get that AUKUS submarine fleet in order really fast. But 2030, too long. They better kick that up some. Maybe all over by 2030. Don't try it, kill all my worms. Okay, my peeps. Oh, if I did, it'd be just an experimental skill. All right, well, my peep says killed her worms. Loads of people say diatomaceous earth kills bed bugs. Oh, Yeah, they say it kills insects. Definitely say it kills insects. What did Nixon know, Preston? All right, so I'm gonna kind of scroll through here a little bit, see if I missed some major. I'm not want to go. It's getting late. I really wanted to cover more, but it's 4 a.m. Central. It's 2 a.m. here, and I'll have to be up like 4 hours. Sun is going to be up in just a little bit here. Red looking. All right. Yeah, we'll have to cut short some of the stuff I'd hope to do tonight. So I may do a live session from my place. I'm careful with that, though, how I do that. Close to my place. But, you know, I'm going to, yeah, I'll talk about what we're doing, what we're trying to get done out there, some things. So, had some adventures. We built a road. I actually worked my day job remotely today because I'm having to extend my stay here a couple more days. It's been a challenge to get this road in, and just everything involved. So I'm not seeing me on YouTube so much. I've been extremely busy here, and the road. Yeah, we just put in about a half-mile road through some rough territory. And I nearly got stuck yesterday. I got caught out in a monsoon on a tractor in the desert. I got soaked. I was shivering yesterday. I nearly got my tractor stuck trying to get out. Then I nearly got my van stuck. Oh, I was stuck initially, but I managed to unstick it by rocking it. And I'm going down the road. I had to cross these washes with tons of water going across them, and had water flowing right down the road. And I ran off the road just because it slid. Everything was so slick, but even though I kept my momentum going, I didn't get stuck. I kept going, boy, mud flying everywhere, way over the top of my van. And I was trying to get back to here last night, and I couldn't because the road was totally washed out. I mean, the water was way deep. The daughter of the guy I'm staying with, she crossed, and she had a four-wheel drive, and she barely made it. The four-wheel drive truck was way off the ground. She said water went over her hood. So here I am in a van that's low and got a big cross-section area. Yeah, if I'd hit that water, couldn't have swept off the road. So I did not stay here last night because of that. So this trip's taking longer. It's been a lot more expensive than I anticipated, a lot of unanticipated expenses, things that caused me to make change in plans. So it's been interesting. When I got here, I was hoping to stay on my place the whole time. I had my van set up. I could have just camped out of it, but there was no road to my place. The road that's supposed to have been a road was no longer a road, and it had fences across it, and I never could contact the person on the property. I couldn't find, usually you can go in and find people's phone numbers and records. You got to go into the courthouse records and the landowning records, and there's different apps and things you go in to find out who owns what and what their contact numbers are and their names. And I went around visiting, and I finally got what was supposed to be in the right of way wouldn't have worked anyway. The so-called right of way that was intended by the developers wouldn't not have worked for my property for a lot of physical reasons. Plus, there was some fencing across it that would have been two different fences that would have been a barrier. Somebody just put a fence right on the darn road, which it shouldn't have done, which I legally could have taken out, but it would have taken court action possibly. But I finally got one of the neighbors to give me an easement, sign it, rid of the tractor, and we put in about a half-mile of road. I mean, up and down hills and through washes and everything else. And so it's been a lot of work. And my friend here, Scott, who's got experience with the desert, he knows how things drain. He knows this equipment. He knows the area a lot better than me. He did 99% of the work. I've just done some work on a flat area, trying to prepare where to put a grayson and a few things like that, driving the tractor. So I got a lot to thank for Mr. Miller here, Scott Miller. He's been exceedingly helpful in many, many ways, way above and beyond anything you could ever expect. He's been real good to me. His wife, Jen, has been very good to me too. So, my hat's off to them. And they've done a lot. I'm here at their place right now. So they've been real good to me. Of course, the funny thing is, and we're setting up everything here, he's the guy that's probably going to send me to Lake City, Florida. It's looking like that's going to happen. So laughing my offering regs should name the second green regs danger zone. Yeah. Well, I'm getting my bug out place fixed up here, and it's I love this place up here. It's beautiful. My property here has a rainbow of rocks, every color of rock you can imagine. Near gem quality, I'm finding shards of pottery, finding petrified wood, not the giant pieces, but lots of smaller pieces, petrified wood. So yeah, one day it's got a high point and it drops down. Jesse Mills said this used to be a beach a long time ago. There's tons and tons and tons of round rocks that got rolled a lot somewhere. I'm a mile high. What the world rolled all these rocks that look like river rock all over my property? Some of them good size. There's also lava bombs all over my property. We're like kicked out of one of these local cinder cones. Like artillery, they're all over my place. So, Greg, is your leg fully healed? Yes, I'm lots better. Highway to the danger zone. I thought about calling it high desert prepper. High plains drifter. How about high desert prepper? I might do a video called High Desert Prepping. I don't know, or High Desert Bug Out or something like that. Okay, Greg, good night. Yeah, I think we need to go. It's late. It's 4 a.m. I got to get up in 4 hours. So we'll dispense somewhere normal tonight. I just ask everybody tonight to pray for two people in particular. Granny Lana is in very bad shape. I want everybody to pray for Granny Lana. You can pray for granddaughter, but Granny Lana really needs it right now. She is in extremely bad shape, guys. She's pining away to nothing, and she's losing her will. Please pray for Granny Lana tonight when you go to bed. And pray for New Days, because New Days just had a double femoral bypass surgery. So pray for her. And if anybody's got a prayer request, put it in here. But we're going to have to go. We'll have to do, I got a little bit of a late start, but now we'll try to do some more videos. It's just hard for me to schedule everything. It's been several nights I've done the research. I had the articles lined up. I just couldn't get it all put together in time to do a video. It's tough. 4 a.m. It is 4 a.m. Central Time. And that's the time I'm keeping on my computer. But it is 2 a.m. here, but I got to get up 6 a.m. I got everything here is solar. At 6 a.m. with skylights, I'm going to be shining sunlight into my room. Yeah, so I will wake up whether I want to or not. Yeah. So Arizona does not recognize daylight savings time. So during the summer months, where everybody else is doing daylight savings time, Arizona is on Pacific time for all intents and purposes. All right. 5 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, no kidding. So we need to go. It's time for folks to get some sleep. I didn't want to bug out. Alabama and Arizona, well, the way you make that bug out work is you live in it. So, listen, guys, my property's got some a lower section. It makes a great field or pasture. It's just got plants like crazy. It's covered in plants like knee high or higher. Lots of stuff there. Make a great pasture. Several acres, I don't know, maybe 15 acres, 10 or 15 acres of good pasture land on the bottom. And even a lot of the stuff on above that would be good grazing land. So yeah, I could do cattle, corn, one or the other, or a little bit of both maybe. 5 a.m. Yeah, you must be Eastern. That's what I decided to do. What's all that costs money too. Right now, I don't have enough money to cover, but setting up the essentials apparently. So it's a little bit more daunting than I thought it'd be. It's waking up. Oh, you're waking up. That's good to say. Well, I got to go to bed. All righty, folks. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. here, but I got to get up at 6. Love it. High desert prepper. Has a ring to it. Yeah, it's like high desert, high plains drifter, you know, kind of like that. A lot of people will lose the will to live nowadays. I've seen it in older people more. Yeah, that's why I want everybody to pray, specifically raining land tonight. But we're all going to have problems when it hits the fan. It's going to be rough. Sandstone, quartz around here. Yeah, got all that. Where you at? Boulder, Colorado? We got sandstone, we got quartz, amethyst, just tons of different things, tons of stuff. It's just, I'm seeing purple rocks, green rocks, red rocks, clear rocks, white rocks, got it all. Black rocks, gray rocks, every color there is. So it's beautiful. Like I said, it's like a rainbow. All right, guys, let's go. I got to go. So I want to say thank you, super chatters. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And to one and all, a